Hey, it's Larry again. Welcome to my live streaming behind the scenes video tips and tricks. This is about being better, being great on camera, and being better. Today, I'm going to talk about being better on Zoom. So when you actually have a Zoom presentation that you have to do, don't tell me you haven't been to a bunch of Zoom meetings since COVID started. All of us have, and a lot of us have had to do Zoom presentations. So there are lots and lots of tips and tricks for being better on Zoom. I actually did a whole video about it. That turned into a USA Today article and more videos and more articles and TV shows and all kinds of cool stuff. So yay. But I want to give you one quick tip that's going to help you if you have to do a Zoom meeting, whether it's like you're doing a community service meeting. I did some Rotary meetings where I did presentations, and I've done a number of additional Zoom meetings. So one of the many things that will help you is to participate with Q&A. Now, Zoom has built in where you can ask questions. So actually engage your audience. So go through your presentation, but then open up for questions toward the end if they'll let you. And I've been doing a couple of presentations, and they said, well, we don't really need questions and answers at the end. And I'm like, yeah, you do. It's engaging the audience. It's actually making people feel like they're part of this actual real live event. And so it does help. So engage with questions with the Q&A, but here's the secret to that. Somebody else, especially if it's more than just a few people, 10, 12, 15, 100 people, 200 people on the Zoom call, make sure that you have a dedicated, specified person that you arrange this in advance, who's your moderator. So they're set up in the Zoom software as a co-presenter. They're going to be watching the chat, and they're going to be watching the Q&A and see if there are questions for you. And that way you don't have to be worried about, oh, I'm doing my presentation. I have to remember all these different points, and I'm doing everything just right. And I got to remember eye contact. Is my lighting just right? What's my sound like? Don't get too far away from the microphone because then I sound bad. And then all the things that you have to remember as your presentation goes forward. Have the other person paying attention to what's popping up in the chat, because somebody might not even make it a formal Q&A thing. And then if you go to your moderator and you go, okay, well, it's time for Q&A. Do we have any questions? Your moderator is going to have them in the queue. They're going to have them ready to go and ask you a couple of questions at the end. Now, if you're really good at this, you're going to plan a couple of questions. You're going to plant a couple of questions with your moderator in advance so that if nobody does have Q&A questions, it's not just you wrap up and go, okay, any questions? And everybody's quiet. Nope, no questions. Thank you. Bye. It's not going to be that. So you plant a couple questions with your moderator just in case the audience doesn't come up with any on their own. And then when you get to the Q&A portion, then more people are going to be typing and putting in their questions, and whatever you answer as far as answers to the Q&A, that a lot of times triggers people saying, oh yeah, well, what about this circumstance if you already addressed that? So it does help. So the Q&A, and have a designated specified moderator who has access to, in the Zoom meeting, they have access to your you as a co-presenter. They're listed as a co-presenter. They have access to more things. The other thing that a co-presenter can do that's pretty darn important is, if somebody's dog is barking in the background or something, they can go and mute everybody else's microphone who's not an actual presenter. So that's today's tip, zooming ahead and how to be great on camera behind the scenes tips. Tune in again every weekday where I have even more with these quick little live stream videos. And if you have questions for me, put them in the comments below and I'll answer them.